not make sure. So and other members went to the kitchen and the report that they are bringing, I'm sure they are going to speak about it, about the condition of the facility there. When we went to the workshops, electrical workshop, at least they were, you can see they're doing something, but the workshop itself is dirty. It's not in a, it's not in a good condition. The other one is just bad. The civil one, the civil workshop, it's not in a good condition. So you can tell that requires a leadership. If principal or leadership there, this thing should not be happening. Then went to what do you call this? The lab, computer lab. You don't know. We left there without a single computer opening. Those that there was one that tried to open, but it got stuck somewhere. The rest were told that there was a power failure earlier on, and therefore, once there's a power failure, even if power is back, this thing may happen like this. We ask simple questions, not because we're trying to catch you out, but because we want to see where the problem is and where we can assist. But your people, principal, when they respond to us, you can tell. I mean, at the rest, there's no fire. What do you call that thing? Fire extinguisher. You can see it's supposed to be, there's a sign that says fire extinguisher. They are nowhere there. We're told that they are put somewhere because students either they take them or they bring them. So if there was going to be fire there, then we're going to have problems. I was reading an article yesterday in a Sunday newspaper about a fire that broke out at the rest at the University of Fort Hare. And the sprinklers or the water, they did not kick in on time. And as a result, I think students lost their lives there. Yeah, we have removed fire extinguishers. Where they are there, you can see there's a sign supposed to be there. I don't understand. We were told one door there was broken. The top window there is not there. We were told there was a GBV incident where a boyfriend or the girlfriend had locked herself in the room and the boyfriend was kicking the door. We broke the window there, they broke the door before security arrived. Then you ask yourself, it's a 64, 32 room student accommodation. It can't take security that long if security is there. For the window to be broken, the door to be broken, and I told no, we always have true security. We were there at the time. You can tell with the responses that we're getting that our colleagues want to, don't manage us. Tell us the truth, just say X, Y, and Z is not. It's not working because of this. And these beautiful facilities, GDG, they require a proper maintenance plan. Facilities, Can say we're supposed to be building. Maybe we need to put a barricade of some sort. Let's take them there to do practicals and preserving this what we have. All of these things we will not see them. Principal and campus manager, if we don't want to see them, it's something we can, we must preserve what we have. This building, government spent almost 300 million, I think, from the lady of NSF, that's what she said, almost 300 million. Building this campus, very beautiful, in deep rural KZN of Uganda. There are other campuses in the cities who try to have facilities like this. We have them, we don't take care of them. So I thought I must just start with that. I'm going to give you Manzini to do your opening, and then you'll give council and management. Then from there we'll go to labor, and then we'll go to the students. Manzini, you don't have a mic at board.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chair and honorable members, and let me observe the protocol. I won't say much because I think in your opening remarks you've touched on the very critical and important matters around the issue of leadership that we ought to demonstrate as people who are leading these institutions. That from the entrance as you enter and you see that there's rubble on the ground, as a leader you are the first to pick it up. You stop your car and you pick it up until those that are responsible for that can realize that it means they have not done their work. So we need to demonstrate that leadership, and I think the matters that you've touched on, the basic maintenance, that sometimes does not really even require a huge amount of money. It can be done basically. And as you said, we have students who are doing this. They will require some level of practical work as well that they can do. And the college can actually establish a maintenance team supervised by those who are employed by the college, but you utilize the students to gain their practical. So there's a lot of maintenance work that is required. The college, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, it's one of the 9 colleges in this region. And this is the only region that has got 9 colleges. Simple because at the time of the merger, the then Richards Bay Technical College, which is called Richtech, happened to be a standalone in this northern part of KwaZulu-Natal, and there was no other college. The nearest college that they were supposed to merge with was in Vryheid. And I think the councils at the time opted not to merge, but treat them as separate institutions that gave birth to Mtashan and then Mfolo. So if you look at the landscape of all regions, it's the only region that has got 9 TVET colleges. So this particular college never merged with any, but it acquired and grew from 1 campus to about, 16 campuses. And it's a college that is spread over 3 district municipalities, Ilembe, Ingqejwayo, and Umkhanyakude. It's quite a lengthy distance to be covered. But as you said, Chair, these institutions are supposed to be a springboard for economic emancipation and addressing some of the socio-economic issues in this region. So you will see when the campus started, there was not so many houses around here, and you can see that people are now building near the site. But as you said, it needs to continue to demonstrate that leadership and be a beacon of hope for our people. And I hope that the council is here, the management of the college is here, and we are looking forward to the engagement, Chair, so that we can be able to improve where we need to improve. And also from our side as a department, the support that we should be providing to the institution. On that note, Chair, let me pause there and allow the Chair of Council to lead the presentation. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, DDG. Honorable Chair, thank you for the opportunity to talk on behalf of the college. It is indeed we do feel, I would say, we are saying this with gratitude, that the portfolio committee decided to come to Umfolozi. Maybe what the members of the honorable members of the portfolio committee might have seen is disturbing, and understandably so. But at the same time, it always helps to have people coming to your household, because in so doing, they also assist you to look at your household from a different perspective. And Chair, it is also true that Council is aware that there are challenges in the college, and that some plans are indeed put in place. But also, it is an undeniable truth that this visit, which also then assisted Council to also expedite the visit to this campus, has assisted in also highlighting some of the flaws that we might not have been able to understand and identify seated at central office and actually having our meetings there. So with all the things that might have happened, there is a common understanding amongst Council that this visit was also due for Council even, and also for management, or maybe let me say a combined Council management delegation. I would also like to appreciate, Honorable Chairperson, the fact that you did not only bring the honorable members to our campus, you also brought in some of the critical stakeholders. And in these stakeholders, Chairperson, we have the departments, the units that can assist us in addressing some of the challenges, not only just in Nkandla, but also in the college in general, that we actually do appreciate. We also have our management here. Chair, I need to indicate that as the college, in planning for this meeting, we have our executive management. I will use that term, Chair, as the principal and the DPs are here. And we also have, as the members of EXCO and in attendance, chairperson. And the reason, we appreciate the fact that the chair allowed us to bring such a delegation. I think, Chair, from the things that we have seen, some of them have filtered through to council through reports. Hence, it was essential that we bring in the chairpersons of the various committees as members of EXCO, so that also in their own portfolios, they will be in a position to identify critical fatal flaws that needs to be addressed if we want to remain one of the formidable colleges in KZN, but also in the country. Chair, we recognize the importance of this campus. The DDG has indicated that when this site was built, this was like a loan establishment. And we are seeing what we've always hoped of. We've seen the development of campus towns where an institution will end up driving development in that particular area. So it is still our belief and vision that through campuses that we have in whatever space that we are allowed to occupy, that we become one of the leading forces towards economic development, towards addressing socio-economic challenges like unemployment. And Chair, there is a challenge with the kind of workshops that we have. But I'm saying this because I want to indicate that in the choice of the programs that we're running here, the idea is that we actually incentivize or we seed the programs that will assist in socioeconomic development. So, Chair, we are looking forward to the engagement. We know that it might not be easy, but there are discussions that we need to have. And we are looking forward to those particular discussions. And by those few words, Chair, I would like to thank again the Honorable Chair and Honorable members and all the stakeholders that have found time to come and visit us today. Thank you very much.
With your delegation, I would like to greet the DDG with the members of the department who has visited us, and also greet the council, the executive management, as well as the colleagues that are with us here. Has instructed me just to do the presentation. When the chairperson of the portfolios said to you, the presentation, he looked at me and said, no, it's me. It's fine. I'll just be quick with the understanding that the presentation was sent to the portfolio committee members, though I got comfort yesterday because we started doing this on Friday and Saturday until I got confirmation on Friday or yesterday. Follows the college is very big. It has been mentioned that we cover about 3 districts. Mhlathuze, Ilembe, as well as Mkhanyakude. By that position, it then tells you that even if you speak of the PQM, you need to be strategic, you need to be responsive to the local economic growth. We were looking at our strategic position, where we took Chief Albert Lutuli as being positioned in the ITZ of Dubai Trade Port, which is an advantage, as well as the growing industries. It's an advantage to be there. Then we looked at the campuses that are in the rural areas, not necessarily being in rural areas that are not economic. Then we looked at how we align ourselves with the economic activities, those campuses for agriculture and other programs. Then we have also campuses that are in town, which have an advantage of being next to the industries. And those campuses also are having the opportunity to align the PQM, which is the program qualification mix, accordingly, and they need to be responsive to the industries, not necessarily saying they need to. We've started doing that, and we need to strengthen that. And we are happy that even the department had decided to phase in some of the old programs, starting with Report 191, and then so that TVET colleges can phase in the occupational programs. Then I'll move to when you look at the analysis, the local industrial growth, you find that in every place, in all places, you will find that there will be drivers of the local economy, and our college responds to the drivers of the local economy, because where we are, we have manufacturing, agriculture, wholesale and retail, tourism, ocean economy, general infrastructure, development, transport and logistics, green economy, and renewable energy. So some of our activities are well aligned. It's only that we need to strengthen them. Then also not to rely on the wood from the department in terms of funding. We have host employers, sitters, and industry who assist. Then move to our strategic focus. I want to talk about the vision and mission and values. I'll just go straight to registration, which is the core function, registration and enrollment. Slide 3.1, which gives the enrollment trends. We've done the analysis from 2022 till 2025, which is the current year, with two programs, NCV and business, and report 191 business and engineering studies. We have observed that we are performing very well because we meet our targets. What we have identified when we did our analysis is that the PLP, which is the pre-vocational program, that is preparing students to enter into NCV, registration, the performance there is declining. The cause of decline is that some of the students come in and think that it's a full program that will then take out to certificates and diplomas, and then they change at the end, then say no. That's why now, even ourselves, we have seen that there is a decline. If you look at numbers for 2025, they are very low than other years. Looking at the occupational programs, which is the next slide, you could pick up that the performance is not very good. The reasons for that is that that section, we realized late that if we don't have somebody dedicated to it, we will have a problem. And then we looked at how we run our projects. Then we started to come up with a strategy. Like, for instance, the occupational programs, where you'll find that the deputy principal academic will then run CV report 191 and then go to workshops also to run those activities or those programs. The college is fortunate to have the deputy principal innovation, which was introduced with when PPN was introduced, and then we opted for the structure with innovation, not registration. So currently there is somebody dedicated to that, and we are sure that this reflection of 2025 will no more be there. Things will change, because if you can look at on the left, percentage achievements, 49, 50, 58, 30, 41, 49, 77, 1961, 105, where there is just a slight achievement of the numbers. Looking at it, it's not good. But the college has done more, because we've started some training, we've started some the establishment of the PMU, which is the project management unit. So through the support from our council, we managed to do all. Then we then brought in the analysis of the current numbers to 2025, where when you look at what was reflected in this slides with graphs, the NCV and the report 191 are performing very well, even exceed numbers. And then when you go down, that slide talks to that other one, where you'll find PLP declining, you find occupational programs and courses having low numbers, and short programs and short skills, low numbers in terms of actuals, and also level 5 and level 6 having low numbers in terms of having zero, in fact, in terms of registration. But we've come up with something that was initiated by the council when realizing that our college is not performing well. They said to us, what is your turnaround strategy? Then we engaged as broad management in a turnaround strategy in trying to identify the problems, and we come up with the solutions. That is why we had to also get it as an attachment, the summarized one. Then looking at enrollment plans, because we needed, after doing this analysis, also being given figures from the maturity model activities. We then had to go back as a team in trying to identify issues and coming up with recommendations. Well, I won't dwell much on issues and recommendations, but I'll just go to comments. We realized that we lack marketing, more marketing strategies, and then currently we've started programs that are through all platforms in trying to align ourselves with the newly introduced occupational programs. And then also we had to go back to our targets. We realized that there were sometimes we were setting unrealistic targets, especially in terms of the costs. Because if you can look at 2025 numbers, there is where we had 6,500, and currently we're failing to reach that 6,500. We have to review our numbers so that we can come up with an achievable target. We have to ensure that we strengthen the profiler for students in consultation with the SSS department, so that students, when they register, they know exactly and somebody has explained, and not that they will lead us to, they register and then they lead us to drop out. Then the under-enrollment on QCTO, well, we were looking at it at a distance and not knowing that the very same department would say, now there is a change. We are pushing in the QCTO programs because we have realized that we need to focus now on new programs. The old programs are now phased out. So we're aligning ourselves accordingly in terms of marketing, in terms of development. And also, I mentioned the issue of the PMU. Together with the council, we realized that if we don't have a dedicated person who's running the project management unit, we won't win. Then we've appointed that person, and then we looked at our skill centers, and then we realized that some of them, or most, if not most of them, they are dysfunctional. We need to resuscitate them. Then we started now working on them. We have a team that will be reporting at the end of the month, which we said, go and look at the capacity, and then at the same time, we need to push applications to QCTO so that we can be able, when we get approval for those programs, and then we implement them as quickly as possible. The team will come back at the end of October, and then the very same team will be doing a reporting to the academic board, and then until the council. Then we looked at the entrepreneurial hub that we have. It's only one, which is at Mandeni, and fortunately we have negotiated with the partners there. We are extending that or enlarging that, but the aim, even from our strategic plan, was that we must take it to other campuses, because we need to ensure that students are engaged in entrepreneurship programs. So the discussions are at the advanced stage, and there is a lot that we are currently doing with NB. So the discussions are at the advanced stage, and there is a lot that we are currently doing with NB, because I've already mentioned that. Then we looked at our budget, and we tried to align the budget in terms of the needs, and we reminded ourselves as the broad management that the core function is teaching and learning. Then I moved to overview of the state of governance, administration, teaching and learning. Then we have the council. You said you'll be driving there. I'm not connected this side. It doesn't move from your side. It's stuck. Sorry, I'm not a guru in these things. It's stuck on your on your leg.
It's moving.
Oh, it's moving, but it's not moving this side. Oh, Chairperson. Can we get assistance? No, thank you. I don't know, Chair, whether I need to say something to the council. We have the council chair. We cannot have the council chair without other members. She mentioned the EXCO. What she left is that we have all committees which sit accordingly, and then have some recommendations which are taken to EXCO. If something needs to be approved, it's approved. But one question, Chairperson, which it's not a question directed to you, in our understanding and also in terms of the CET Act, the external members that are appointed by the minister were 5. But last year we got only 4. So we don't know whether they will still be appointed or not. On our side, we're still short of a donor. So it's fully functional, but with 2 vacancies. Then also we have, they're doing the work accordingly in terms of the council functions. Then in terms of the students government, can I do this? I'll say I'm in 4.2 now. Good. In terms of the governance, student governance, and then we have central SRC, and then we have local of the college. We 4.3. In terms of the administration of the college, we adopted the structure with innovation instead of registration, and this is the organogram, and at campus level, this is the organogram. We are working towards achieving campuses which are in this format. Then in terms of teaching and learning, the first line 4.4. Here we are reflecting the programs that are offered in the 8 campuses that we have. And started by NCV, and then the next one, 4.0, the next one is not labeled, it's a continuation. It's engineering studies, the campuses that are offering engineering. Then we move to the next slide for 4.3, business studies. And then 4.4, which is artisan development. Those are the campuses that are offering the programs. These are the types of programs that we have. Then we move to teaching and learning. It's the same thing that is known. Student support, when they come in to register, the student support takes the lead in terms of supporting in pre-entry or pre-enrollment support until exit. Teaching and learning preparations, where we do the planning prior to the start of teaching and learning, which is driven by the campus managers as the curriculum managers, the head of divisions, together with the senior lecturers, looking at lecturer allocation, identifying the gaps so that we can quickly close them, and then preparing timetables, and then looking at the PPEs and the consumable that are supposed to be there after they have also started the ICAS. And then preparing also the teaching and learning plans for the following year. So what we have agreed upon, because we need to acknowledge that sometimes we have a challenge in terms of assisting students, maybe with late delivery of books. So we've planned that we need to, after we have approved our FTEs, and then the books will be bought through FTEs in order to have the campuses that function from the first day, and also exploring also through looking at the modern technology, looking at also the utilization of e-books and then hard copies. Then after we have planned towards the end of the year, then campuses who have identified shortages, maybe with 1 or 2 lecturers, then they will make the submission, and then when we open, that gap is closed. Then we look at entrepreneurship. I've discussed about the IRM hub. It's what we also offer, which is 4.6. I'll then move to 5, safety and security. 5. Then 5.1, safety measures, policies, to ensure that our students are safe. We have deployed guards, and they know the work that we are doing, so that our students cannot be exposed to unfavorable activities. Then we have occupational health and safety measures. The committees are there, the appointments are there, and then the safety operations. Student support also is assisting us a lot, because they came in and worked together with student support services framework and protocols, and these are shared with the CMTs, which is campus management teams, with the principal as well, and also we have social work support, where we have social workers that are stationed in some campuses, and being stationed in that campus does not mean that that person cannot work for another campus. Then we have a risk assessment, which is conducted, awareness campaigns that are done, and then the dialogues also, then referrals, which are channeled in a respectful manner, and then civil education and soft skills programs, higher health. Chairperson, we thought maybe if we come with this is the repetition of the first one, apologies. We thought if we come with the stats in terms of GPV, it will be fine, but we were warned by higher health officials that they are classified and they cannot give us, but if the committee needs that information, they can then prepare, and then we can submit. The first reason given to me was that what if you have high numbers, say, of rape, then you say in public you have high numbers of rape, and then what about the prospective students? Are you not shooting yourself? But I'm not sure about that, but we after getting that, because I said, okay, no, you'll give me that information later, but we can forward it. I couldn't say to them, I want that. Then can I move to student academics and performance? This is the analysis which we did from 2022, 2023, and 2024. When you look at it, it's subject analysis. It's not the total numbers in terms of let's say, for instance, 2022, you see 27,000. It's subjects. They are not per student. We have pass rating, and then pass enrolled. So this reflects that if we have enrolled, say, 1,000 students, and then some will drop, because if you enroll 100, then during exams you have 95 now writing exams. It's a problem because you have dropped about 5. You need to then count on these 5. That is why we had written percentage written and then percentage enrolled, because we need to calculate them accordingly. I think that is clear. But we then came up with the academic improvement plan, where now we look at the analysis, and then we do the introspection. Then we go to committees, and then they look at their subjects, what went wrong. Then they do that analysis, and then we implement. We come up with the plans, then we implement, we develop some strategies. We are sure that through these plans, then we will be able to improve. Student support roles, we have some student support activities that are taking place as well. And then the campuses will come up with the plans, of which the assistant director, curriculum services, and also the deputy principal, academic services, will ensure that that is monitored so that we can assist students improve their results. Then in my analysis, it reflected that there are dropouts. Yes, we do have, which when we investigate. I think, Chairperson, we do have, I'm told we were supposed to have NSFAT in this sitting. We told that there were, if there are delays with the payment of the funds, then students end up dropping out of the college, which is a serious problem. And then when we look at also their registration, at the beginning of the year, those that have not, most of them, they get the message that is written provisionally funded. And once students get that message provisionally funded, we then proceed with the registration to avoid some delays. Then at the end, you'll find those students now not getting money, or NSFAS will not fund them, and then they will be dropped out. And then some of the students, they move out because they are interested in other institutions, which is a problem. We need to check why, and then we make sure that our institution is of choice. Social challenges, maybe the area has bully people. I've just made an example, only to find that the student will end up moving out of the institution. Then some are complaining about programs that are too difficult. Then they move them back. When we were doing the presentation, one campus manager told me that some of the students went back to the high school. Then I said, oh, okay, no, it's fine. Maybe it's the problem where in the high school say, no, we're not performing well, go to the TVET. And then to find that the student was not guided properly. I was just thinking aloud. Then the throughput rate, which we were expected to discuss also, it's very low. And then our targets are reflected there. 2024 with 18, and then 59 PLP retention, 88, and then we cannot give the targets for 2025. Then there are improvement strategies, which I won't dwell much on that, but they are very sensitive because they are linked to teaching. They have disturbed. They are linked to teaching and learning. The late arrival of books and other LTSM. We've discussed about that, and then the PPEs also discuss about it, the ISET, and the service providers for the equipment that assist teaching and learning. We've come up with a turnaround strategy on that. And then we are also exploring the new ways of effective learner management system. I think that covers all. Then I move to student funding. Student funding, this is the table. And I may say one thing, that our students, our claims were over the allocated funding this year. And when we asked from NSFAS, how did we go that way? They said, no, they've taken from those those colleges that have not claimed. Student accommodation, we were talking about in Kandla. We have this one which we control. Others are private, but we do have a problem with the private accommodation, though I won't read all this, but the manner, or let me say the conditions of the places where students are awarded or are accommodated is not good. Well, I don't know, maybe the department will assist us in the discussions with NSFAS in terms of the accreditation of the basis. Sometimes there is no water, no sufficient geysers, no transport, no Wi-Fi. At first, we thought it's not our part. But now looking at, because the NSFAS is signed with the students, with the landlord, then we said, guys, let's go there. Let's have everything that pertains to the students so that we can know exactly, because once there are problems, they are given to us. It's just that service provider is private. These are our students that us get in. This is what we discovered. And then we wanted to have all the list, and we are starting to get out, because sometimes others, like for instance, in this campus, we got a call where students were moved out at about 9 o'clock at night. I had to phone the campus manager to quickly check on that, or to find that NSFAS has paid money to the students rather than the landlord, which creates a problem. But we so wish that that is resolved. And also the issue of the partner sequel, if that can be resolved as well, would be fine. But this gives us the details of the private accommodation campus, and also we've managed to get the number of beds, shortages, and where there is surplus. Then, going back now. Then looking at finances, overview of college finances. 2022 we had qualified audit opinion. 2023 we had unqualified audit opinion. 2024, and then these are allocations per year, 2023, 24 up to 2025. But I just stick to the direct transfer, which has crippled the college a bit. If you look at 2022 with 32 million, and then the following year we will come to 15 and 16. You were servicing all the campuses at 32, and then you are giving now half of it, which creates a problem in terms of the allocation. And we were not aware that the PBN is top slicing the direct transfers. It was until late where we got that. I won't dwell much on the distribution here as it is indicated, but I'll just go to what we have identified in terms of our strategy when we look at the funds, the high commitment to service, high contracted services, that is service providers who have started reducing that, and also terminated those that have expired already, and looking at insourcing versus outsourcing, which we were assisted by the council on that. And then we have managed to reduce, but not that we were still working on that. And then we discovered that with security there was an inconsistency in terms of the rates per person, and CM is working on that. And then even ourselves, let us train ourselves so that we can know exactly what we're doing. We've done that using the policies, coming up with the plans, and then I moved to infrastructure development. Chairperson, I need to mention that the lack of technical know-how during the introduction of CIEG has caused some problems. I think I won't talk about other colleges. We were given funding for infrastructure. I'll start with that, but then I come back. We're given funding for CIEG, and this funding was then, we were then informed that we need to appoint project managers to manage that. After appointing project managers, there was also a need for professional agents. And then when you look at the qualifications, they're almost the same. Then project starting from evaluation work packages, but only to find that the work packages that were submitted to the department were not accepted, were not in the good form, and they were rejected, and then that delayed all the processes to the allocation of CIEG, firstly finance, then DPC, which created some problems, but I think that ended up being solved. But here we have reflected how we've utilized the allocation that was given to us. We still have a balance of 12 million, which we intend in utilizing in the campuses that have asbestos, because they were not changed. The money that was given to us was used for repairs and maintenance, because we have very old campuses. Eshowe and Skawin was the teacher training institutions, and Eshowe is the first building Eshowe with asbestos was 1963. We have another one from Mandeni, which was from the pulp and paper industry. It was built long time ago. But we have made a submission to the department in terms of the maintenance plans, which are 13.3, 11.3, which in terms of our maintenance plans, we need about 195 million so that we can ensure that our campuses are in the acceptable state. Most of them at below those that were built long ago. The problem with the underground system, which consumed a lot of money. That is why we reflected this with the hope that maybe we'll get somebody to assist us in getting this, which would be used for the current, or not building new currently. Then another topic was the issue of certificates. We've just made on 12.1. We've just made this. We do have some certificates that we have not yet received. We're trying a lot to get more. Even with our graduation, we had more certificates and diplomas that we had, but we still have outstanding. We're doing follow-up. Then the PPN, the approval was on 277 academic, 271 support, which then at a distance it created some challenges, because you can't have 1:1 in terms of ratio. But the progress on the implementation using the template that we use when we submit, we identify 36 staff members, and we have currently migrated 33. We're left with 3, and then we still have vacancies, and then we have 2 staff members who are unmatched. These 2 staff members were inherited from DPE, and they came to us already being on PESAR, so we couldn't take them out of PESAR. We are just waiting that maybe because they are old, they are in the comment making section. Then the 3, I've just given the overall picture of our field vacancies and also field posts, and then field and vacancies using the number 548, which then gives us the total approved. But we do have some challenges because under support, this college has no principal. The college has stayed for some years without principal. We are just acting, and then the deputy principal has been advertised, and we've just got the approval to advertise the 2 assistant directors, but the focus is on the academic staff. We put in 13.4, which is the workforce profile. In our workforce, we have 2 foreigners who are in this campus and also Eskawini campus. Then it reflects that there is no principal, and then these are the other categories. I'll just move from them. Then the challenge is we were thinking of reconfiguring our structure because the biggest challenge now that we have, we need to move the employees of the new campuses, Ganda and Bambanani, to Pesal. Now they were partially included to the PPN, so that is the reason we need to reconfigure. And also looking at the ratio, I said 271 and 277. If you have staff balancing like that, it means you have 1:1 instead of 1:0.75 or 1:0, 1:2. It depends. But the 1:0.75 was used before. Then we were also thinking of, if possible, we combine some of the posts, some of the positions, because we do have also the bloated college structure, so that we can move others to PESA. Then on partnerships, I've just given this table. We had some targets, and we achieved in 2022 in the number of partnerships achieved, those that we have. And then the placement now of level 4s, where we did not perform very well, but we've done the analysis. And then moving on to the signed MOUs, we've quite a number of them that they've been signed. And then the wheel, it's a number of them. And it's that is that. Then successes in terms of artisan development, Umfolozi is well known, and also the centers of specialization, the trades, and the DSPP, which we are only 2 colleges here in Machuba and Umfolozi. Inclusive education, what we have started is Kawin and rolling out, and the Maritime Academy, Techno Hub, and the Technical Training Center in Mandeni that is being augmented. Chairperson, I've attached the summary of the turnaround strategy. I don't think I'll read it because some of the improvement plans are extracted from the turnaround strategy. It's a huge document which has all the activities. I decided that maybe we send this one. If maybe the committee wants the full document, it can be forwarded. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. We're not going to be as generous to our coming presentations. Labour, who's going to light for us? I present him from there. I want to flight your presentation. Sorry? This has been submitted.
We submitted our presentation. It's up to the secretary if one would like to flag.
No, do you have the presentation? Okay. Please flight it. You can start in the meantime.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. It's Sizogunene, the Chairperson of NEHAU, but we are presenting on behalf of everyone. This is organized labor presentation. Now, greetings to you, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee members, DTG of the TVETs, and the head officials, College Council Chairperson, and council members, the college principal, and the rest of the management, SRC representative here, organized labor, we are also greeted, and NSFAS officials. We will try to make these, okay, no, just quickly. But we will move along while sorry. Right, we cited sub-topics on this that we want to touch upon for the attention of the committee members and also the department, that we, on our topic number one, have vacancies that we will want to cite as one of something that is stressing to the organized labor. Like I said, it's the collection of everyone, and it was the submission for the rest of the unions represented in this college. The college does have vacancies in almost all levels regarding ranging from the college principal, like it has been mentioned, and which has been vacant since 2023. There is a vacant on deputy academic services, and also there are numerous ATs positions that are not filled as yet, and in such we're having, as an example, student support services, which has been vacant since 2021, and also some of the posts that we know that we're supposed to be head of admins in all campuses, they are not in. Post level 1 lecturers subsequently leading to more than 100 substitute lecturers being advertised. Workshop assistants in campuses is one of the vacancies. General workers, which campuses are given inadequate in terms of human personnel, and that is likely to overburden the availability, the available warm bodies This leads to debilitating buildings, such as some campuses have many yard sink-ins. The college campuses has standby generators, which are likely at times being white elephants, as they stand without diesels at most of the times, and that renders them non-functional. The campuses have computer labs, but computers are now older models, and those who are new then becomes an option. Also in the infrastructure, we have computer labs, furniture, lecture halls, and theaters. That are having chairs that are worn out. Air conditioners in some computer labs are not repaired or maintained regularly. Thus, computers are non-functioning in extremely climate conditions. The internet is not paid for, and thus some learning aspects in the curriculum becomes uncovered. Walk ramps catering students with disabilities are not in place in some of campuses. Last part on infrastructure is some campuses have incomplete buildings, such that campuses have insufficient classrooms for lecturing activities. As labor, we are forced to probe the completion timelines for that in the department. Then on finance part. Okay, service providers are owed that in some campuses, service providers block the gates, deny entry of college staff and students, and thus delays the teaching and learning as a core. They even threaten to disrupt exams. Some service providers are more than 3 years old. Staff and students' PPEs are not provided on time, and this delays the engagement in ISET activities. The stationery is not received in time, and some trimester students even go to the exam having not received textbooks. Then on teaching and learning, in this aspect, credit to the college lecturing staff who tried by all means, against all odds, to teach in such as they can, and in as much as they can. As mentioned above, the lecturer theatres and finishers, though making lecture halls to be an unfriendly learning environment, but lecturers soldiered on. Also, consumables and teaching and learning and support materials are not readily available to lecturers to lecture against the odds, to teach and assess students timely. Then on governance issues, the College Council as the governing body, the dedicated stakeholders of the college. As said previously, one of not sure of the College Council is correctly briefed in considered the outcry with regards of people to PPEs. As labor, we have good relationship with the college councils. We can engage the college councils to have their fillers on the ground so that they don't rely on the report they received from the college senior management.
Then on enrollment and the readiness. In this regard, because students are enrolled from the system as they apply online, one will say the college is doing well. Readiness aspects one will say in the hand, but by factors like wrestling and aligning lecturers on QCTO programs as the department needed. How the college HR is ascertaining that the reskilling of lecturers is done, but the college has not started with that process. The aspect boiled back to the non-recruitment of the acting deputy principal corporate services, which by its nature is alarming as to why appointment in this position is not made as yet. Recruitment was finalized in 29 May this year. Okay, on the such presentation that we made, Chairperson, we shall say that these are the submissions that we make by almost everyone with regard to the submission, the campuses and all the rest. But we need to note and also say that as from April, we had a sit with the management on the Labour Council. Then we had a plan to cover some of the aspects that we reported here, but we made it a point that we report them for them to be known by the rest. And also the council, the full committee, last time they came here, and we reported some of the things that are now resolved, but we will need to report this as they are for them to be known by the rest. Thank you, Chairperson. I hope I covered the most. Thank you.
Thank you very much. SRC, who's going to flight your presentation? It's a, okay. We'll give the president.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Honorable members. This is a privilege and an honor to have such presentation. What I'm going to do, I will just shoot straight to the presentation. The SRC has conducted a thorough assessment of the current state of affairs with various campuses and focusing on the safety and security, academic performance, policies, infrastructure, finance, and the communication. Under safety and security, and despite of the presence of security personnel, there is a noticeable lack of effectiveness in the deployment and response to security breaches. Fingerprint sensors at the gate are not functioning properly, rendering them ineffective as a security measures. The residential areas lack stringent security protocols, allowing unrestricted entries and exit, with purpose of significant risk to students safely. Implementing a student card-based and entry system would greatly enhance the security. Several areas of campuses have faulty lighting, safety, particularly at night. Under gender-based violence, in most cases, students report to the office of SLO, who then handles such cases accordingly. All campuses have peer educators who have been trained by higher health and the office of Triple S generally generates a survey to ensure that all student health and well-being is assessed accordingly for the surveys. All students who reside in our residence report to their house parents for any issues related, as you had the house parent in this internal resident that we have only one case at Ngandla. So under academic performance, the shortage of essential materials for practical session severely hampers academic performance and student learning outcomes. Insufficient personal protective equipment, which is PPEs, for practical session and insufficient educational resources affect student ability to fully engage with the curriculum, ultimately impacting their academic record. Lack of Wi-Fi and college emails. The emails of college is not working. In fact, we usually using our personal emails. The late arrival of PPEs, books, no industries and farm visit for practicals. Campuses have been complaining of this and no one is concerned. No proper facilities for tractors, annual practice for agricultural programs and other practical programs. Even if you can just take another walk out there, you can see that there is a field for agriculture and students here who's doing agriculture, but they don't know how to strip the tractor or servicing the tractor. In fact, we do not have such. The lack of academic activities outside the classroom for further enhance our practicals education to enrich students and test them. There were tutoring programs to assist students who were struggling academically, and these programs are no longer available. Under the policy and governance concerns, infrequent meeting and poor communication with campuses, management have resulted in disconnected, making it challenging to address students' concern effectively. The appointment of assistant director for Triple S is vital, since the SRC is required to report to this office. It's very hard to work while there is a office that is dysfunctional, just like the office of Triple S, because that's where we are reporting. That's where we must receive the information passing to our students. So if there is no connection or that's a proper communication through that office, it's going to put us under the moving object. The SRC proposed receiving their benefits such as t-shirts, tracksuits, and gadgets on the date of the induction to streamline logistics and increase efficiency. Just to elaborate on this point, the current SRC was voted in power early March of the 2025, but none of the above listed benefits or aids have been made available to the SRC to utilize. This affected the SRC in giving it fully performance and ensuring all students receive the best college experience. The current SRC constitution does not have favor students in some way. The SRC working hand in hand with other student organizations, which is politics and the religious and the other societies that have been trying to amend policies in the current constitution. This hasn't been approved till date. Under private accommodation and funding issues, many private accommodation lack of SRC approval, leading to difficulties for students, particularly with NSFAS payment and landlord disputes. Some funded students have not received payment, while others are pressured to seek private accommodations for administrative reasons. Under private accommodation, even today, we are not sure of the distance considered to provide students with transport from and to campuses. We are also not happy to be excluded as the SRC in the processes of accrediting the buildings that is occupied by the students that we are leading. The NSFAS, I'm not so sure whether it's NSFAS or it's a process that is not provided to our college, because we are not in the processes or in approving the accommodations. At the beginning of 2025 academic year, of the students were blocked by the system due to the outstanding balances that was not paid by NSFAS. We would like a repeat of this. We would not like the repeat of this matter next year. I thought we were told that we're going to have NSFAS. Unfortunately, I didn't see them. Yeah. Oh, yes, I guess you are noting. You are noting. Thanks. Success and challenges. The shortage of essential materials, practical session, severe. Sorry. I'm taking it again. Under infrastructure and development concerns, the campus infrastructure is in dire need of renovation and development. Issues include windows, doors, non-functional showers and geysers, in particularly in the residents, and poor Wi-Fi connectivities. Most our campuses, the majority of our campuses doesn't have Wi-Fi connectivity. It's only in the office of the officials. Students have no access to the Wi-Fi campuses, to the various campuses that we have. Our campuses don't have a sport field. We are unable even to practice or have the internal games since the college has the financial instability. Under success and challenges, the SRC is currently facing the numerous challenges, including those mentioned above, with no notable success to report. The SRC is committed to working with the central SRC and college administration to address these critical issues by implementing the recommended measures. We can significantly improve the safety, security, academic experience, and overall well-being of the students on the various campuses. As the SRC, we've made significant stride in saving our student community through the collaboration with higher health for prioritizing their well-being. We strongly advocate for the revival of sport across across all campuses. There's the current lack of the sporting activities is detrimentally to students' well-being, campus security, and overall student experience. By reviving sport,
My voice is loud enough, but I guess like stand and speak.
okay. Thanks, ma'am. We strongly advocate for the revival of sport across all campuses, as the current lack of the sporting activities is detrimentally to student well-being, campus spirit, and overall student experience. By reviving sport, we can foster a sense of community, promote physical and mental health, and provide students with an opportunity for personal growth and development. There is under overview of finance, the SRC treasurer faces difficulties in managing the finances due to a lack of communication with the management. The upper structures assist in crucial in addressing the financial issues and ensuring transparency. Despite higher occupancy rates in main and lecture halls, there is a lack of visible improvement or investment in campuses, infrastructure, and student facilities. Under state of readiness, due to poor communication between the SRC and the management, this hindered the SRC ability to effectively present and support students. We are concerned that the report 191 is currently removed. Hence, the college is not in a state of readiness to implement the occupational programs or the QCTO. So I guess we need a platform or where we're going to engage on how we can be assisted, because report 191 definitely going to save the college in enrollment base number. And the recommendations: the implement of the functional security system, including working fingerprint and motors, student card, entry system for restricted areas, repair and maintain the lighting infrastructure across the campuses, ensure the sufficient material, which is PPEs, are available for a practical session for support student learning and academic success. Foster a collaborative environment within the SRC, focusing on unified student representation and minimizing the organizational biases. Schedule regular meetings between the SRC and the management to address student concern promptly and effectively. Establish a system for approving and monitoring private accommodation to protect student interests, and particularly those funded by NSFAS. Ensure timely disbursement of funds to students and resolve the administrative bottleneck causing delays. Prioritize the renovation and development of campus infrastructure, including the resident facilities and Wi-Fi connectivity. Ensures the transparent finance management and reporting, with the upper structures assistance to build trust and accountability.
Since we experience a late arrival of stationery, why don't you at least introduce the e-learning that can cause very slim challenges? Since we experience late arrival of stationery, I guess that's where we can have an effective learning. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, President. SG, you want to greet? Or fine? You want to add anything? Or fine?
Good day, DDG, the Council, Executive Management, and the House at large. Protocols observed. I am Mabaso Nomcebo, Secretary General of Umfolozi College. I would like to greet the House. To add on what my President just said here, as an SRC, I believe that the student must always come first, no matter what. Because we're here today, it's because of the student. We have a college today, it's because of the students. So, in all that we do and all that we say, can we please put first the students? Thank you.
Thank you very much, SG. We've received all presentations. Before we take hands of members, I'm going to allow you to break for about 40 minutes for lunch. It's 5 to 2 now. We don't want people fainting. Honorable Law.
Thanks very much, Chair. Sorry that I could have raised the hand while you were about to give your ruling. I want to propose that we continue and then have lunch when we are done, given the fact that we still have to travel and given even to see the conditions of the road and all of that. It is quite significant that maybe if we proceed, and I'll understand that we'll want to engage as members, so I'm requesting that. Thanks.
Honorable Khabo.
Proper.
No, so what happened was when we came from the walkabout, you members had something to eat, others did not. And you are going to ask them questions. For an example, principal did not eat. And I know you must ask him questions on classified information. So I think let's take, let's be back at 14:35. We'll start exactly at 14:35. So let's just take a quick lunch and come back at 14:35 then.
DDG, bathi bacela ufuna ukudla nabo unamandla bafuna onamandla don't eat also where Usman you want to eat also how was it was
Let's come back. Principal, come back. I'm told that the deputy principal finance has not paid the lunch people. The service providers have not been paid, so they are on go slow. Lunch has not been ready as yet. So it means principal who must answer questions. You know, I don't like these members asking questions to people who have not eaten. because it might create problems for you when you have not eaten. So I'm going to take you first few hands, and then we'll take it from there. So, or you want to suggest? Okay. All right. Can I have a mic?
No, we were indicating that we have a mic, Chair.
Okay.
You asked for a mic, so we're indicating that we have it and are ready for questions.
Okay. Oh, you want to start that side? Okay, Honorable Khachau, Honorable Khabo, Honorable Msazan, Honorable Ngubane, Honorable Govan, and Honorable Low in that order.
How much time do we have, Chair? Is 15 minutes fine? Hmm? 15 is okay. 15. Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson. Principal, is your campus manager here? Where's the campus manager? Okay, I'll pause and wait. Let me actually, there's one question. Majority of my questions require him as the first port of call, but there's just one question I wanted to ask. You said that you were advised by Higher Health to not disclose the GBV stats of the institution because of fear that if those are made public, it may deter enrollment interests. Is that correct?
Yes, it wasn't for necessarily this one, but the whole.
Okay.
Yes, so.
But in any case, you know them. So Higher Health reports to you all the time about the health of your institution.
In fact, I'm not even exposed to them because I started requesting them long ago. And then when I asked yesterday, on Thursday, why are you not sending this information? Because we wanted it as urgent as possible. And they promised to send it as quickly as possible, but I was shocked later when they said, no. They are preparing it, but they need to, I don't know whether they're sifting it or they're doing what.
Sanitize it, it's okay.
Yes.
So I worry,
Yeah.
Principal. I worry about, because it seems to be chilled. Okay, so since you've been, how long have you been principal of this institution? Acting principal?
This is the 8th month.
8th month.
Yeah.
So in 8 months, you've never had statistics at GBV. You've only just requested them now, and even now, Higher Health is telling you they don't want to give you those stats. Previously, who did Higher Health give those statistics to?
I will not be sure of my former principal.
That is
who's here.
I'm asking this because I'm sure where you are weirded out yourself, as I am, because it makes absolutely no sense. It's quite frankly hogwash that a principal of an institution who's supposed to have his fingers on the pulse of the institution cannot know or does not know what the GBV stats of his institution are. For me, it makes absolutely no sense. And Luena principal, Babu Ngumal, you cannot accept that response as a response that makes sense.
Yes, I didn't accept it.
So I'm asking that Zungu for you to intervene in that regard. Because from where I'm sitting, that logic from Higher Health suggests that the numbers are so sad and so bad that they want to be concealed. Essentially, because the reason they gave you the principle is if you give you those stats and you disclose them, nobody's going to want to come here because vele, ki sexual assault, rape, GBV bill, muna. So I need you to please sort that before the end of today, Sihamba, and make sure ngiyacela kuwena baba ukuthi uba principal unawo lama stats zokwazi ukuthi sixoxe kahle naye ngalama number. Ngiyabonga. Ubuyile ubaba campus manager. Okay. Behind us. The campus manager. Of course, my time's low. Thank you, Chef. Campus manager. Can we give him a mic, please, for engagements? And also, let's be mindful of time, please. Data campus manager. What is your name, Baba?
Sembizo Colin Makhanya.
Okay. Baba Makhanya, ama-res wabafundi do not have access to hot water. Amagiza wakho ngabonile awu-2 phezulu. Isicapha sakhona siwile. You haven't replaced isicapha because initially the building had a wooden scapa, which was a poor idea because of the conditions of the area in terms of weather, you know. That's not a problem. It's not a problem for me right now. What I want to understand is throughout all seasons, summer, winter, autumn and spring, students kulamares do not have hot water to shower. Yebo manzi ayaphuma empompini kodwa yabanda njalo. Ukuflasha siyakwazi ukuflasha he. But in order for students to clean themselves, they need to boil water baze nama basin. Kusuke emakhaya kusuke ama shower ekhona. What's the reason?
Well, madam, the first challenge that we had was the electricity outage, where we had no electricity, and then it was put on hold because since we don't have electricity, I was told that they just wait for us to have electricity so that the guys that will be dealing with boilers will be able to do so.
When no electricity, though?
Well, last month.
Last month. So you haven't had electricity for a while that we are aware. So you knew when, as a campus manager, that immediately when electricity comes back, we were supposed to be in a position where we would have fixed the boilers. Ulinden.
Madam, angilinde lutho, but the process I requested from infrastructure with to assist in tracking the guys that were going to assist us.
Who's responsible for infrastructure? Ubani lo mcelile la wekhona omcelile to fast track?
I was working with AD infrastructure.
Acting director infrastructure.
Yes.
Ugebe. Acting director infrastructure usho babu campus manager ukuthi kulinde wena ukuthi amagiza asebenze. Okay, pieces.
Jump this side. Come this side next to. So campus manager, you had said earlier on when we were in the, what do you call that thing?
The computer lab.
No, up there, workshops. You said yes, we did not have electricity, but we had generators. So are you saying now to Honorable Khafau that the generators only worked in the workshops and not at the rest? you saying?
Generator was working the whole campus.
But not for the geysers.
Unfortunately, it was not working for the business.
Why? Because you are saying to her, the reason the geysers were not, the students did not have home water is because there was no electricity. But now you are saying, even though there was no electricity, there was generator which replaced electricity. So what was the reason why the taps did not release home water?
The reason is because the boilers will need maintenance.
So that's the reason, it's not electricity. The problem is the maintenance of the boilers, not electricity.
It's both Chairperson, because that's where it was put on hold when our electricity was cut. The process of repairing the boilers.
Let me assist you, Chair. So you would remember there was a split in the oversight. My understanding, campus manager, aya boiler manzweni, but that the water does not reach the taps. So aya boiler but akaphumi, unless wena no ma'am director can explain. Ma'am director besicele ngoba ubaba uthe ukufixwa kwamagiza ukuthi ingane zokwazi ukuba namanzi ashisayo kulinde wena. Njani ke?
Thank you for that. Kodwa akulindile mina. Mina, we have done our part in a sense that we have made a requisition to say we need this sort of service from our service providers. However, we have not received support as both the campus and as infrastructure. We have not received the support.
Ubaba uthi kunonto enjalo icela wena uyisuse uyinika bani?
Okay, when him and I will talk, the campus and infrastructure will say, this is what we need.
Who do you ask that assistance from?
And central office will make requisitions to the central office for a certain, whatever service that is required.
By central office.
It's just that it's a long process. The requisition is a long process, so it'll go from from his office, because this is campus budget. It'll go from his office, I suppose, to his immediate supervisor, finance, and everyone involved. But when it is campus budget, that is as far as go. I will initiate the process as to say this is what is required.
The person who's responsible for approval for you guys to get the boilers fixed to make sure who's the last port of signature of approval?
It's the CFO, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, CFO. Where CFO uhlelo lalelo yasibuka siyadlala. Who so CFO, in your understanding, when there's a requisition for maintenance and there's a broader question, it's beyond the boilers. What we're trying to understand is the ceilings are also falling in. They're falling into the students' bedrooms. They're falling into their showers. Kuningi. So how long does it take for you to fix? So if there's a requisition sent for you to approve, it should immediately within a day or two, you should get that and then you must process. So what's the hold up?
Yeah, I think the process, it's an electronic system, so it should be fast. But there are so many requisitions that are there on the system, but within like 2 days requisition.
Sure, that's not true. What you're telling me is not true, because if it were true, if it were true that within 2 days things are supposed to be approved and actioned, then since last month when Uges figure, if they are telling the truth that they have indeed reported land in time, then it means already.
Yeah, it's somewhere where I was going. I was saying, if there are those requisitions, they must give me the requisition numbers so that I could know. But like I'm not sure if those requisitions have been launched and where are they currently. I can only track requisitions if they say it's a requisition number, so and so and so and so. I can get into the system and find out.
I'm going to move, Chair, because of time, but here's the point that I want to make to you, Principal. You have a clear case of a lack of leadership across departments. Because internally under your branch, CFO, you're supposed to have managers who are responsible for fast-tracking requisitions that are important and making sure that things are done. So for me, you to say you're supposed to get a requisition number for you to track as if you are an ESCOM number to say we're going to trace if Mtlakas is going to come back does not make sense to me altogether. It means the finance directorate, that office in its entirety, does not have an operating system that allows requisitions to come through and process them. And if what I'm saying is a lie, then it means the campus manager no infrastructure about wenza umsebenzi wabo ukuthi baqamba amanga bebesithi bone they sent through these requisitions. But as a bottom line, Principal, you can't have a case where students are supposed to, where they have showers, proper showers that just need shower heads, and there's no hot water that ingane kumele is washing dishing when there's a shower available and they must boil water. That's not right. We should not do that. Number two, campus manager. Cold rooms in the kitchen have not been working for over a year. So the cold rooms are fridges where you put food for storage. Instead, nifaka ama-wheelbarrow, ama-thuluzi, ama-cement, nani, kuyadlalwa nje. The cold rooms are not working. You have a smaller nyana deep freeze to put food there. Khona ingane students who are complaining ukuthi since kuyavulwa le residents from 2023, some of them have been eating spoiled food, Principal. That's what students are saying. Angazi ukuthi unayo ingane bab campus manager?
Yes, I do.
Zingaki ingane zakho? Like how old are they, if you don't mind me asking? You're welcome to don't want to respond, it's okay. If you don't want to.
The oldest one is 22.
Your oldest child is 22 years old. That is umuntu okumele mhlawumbe is in postgraduate studies, mhlawumbe uyaqala ukusebenza. Shuti, they have gone through a campus experience. I'm sure you wouldn't want your child to be living at a res where ukudla bakhona bakhala ukuthi kubolile. The same principle applies to you, Principal. These things can't be happening under your watch. You guys are parents. You're supposed to be leaders. And on top of that, campus manager, when the cold room is not working, the dry storage area, umama who's responsible for the kitchen tells us ukuthi kunamagundane, ipati amagundane kuyadlala kudliwa ukudla wengane. Whereas you can just fix the ceilings and close the leakages to make sure ukuthi ukudla kwengane is not infested, is not toxified. Anganderstand yini enzima lapho. Asisho ke ufixa nini ama-ceiling.
Madam, there was someone who was busy with fixing of the ceiling as we speak, and the one that talks to Amapes. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2 months down the line, we did a pest control. And right now, it's a surprise that again they've surfaced, but that information, it's something that I didn't receive. But since then, I've received. I will also start afresh and make a new requisition for pest control.
What do you mean there was somebody who was responsible for fixing ama-ceilings? Ayawa, siyabona. Uqale nini lo msebenzi?
No service provider.
Uqale nini lo msebenzi wokufixa ama-ceilings?
Uqale last week.
Ngoba kuza thina. Ngiyabuza nje because there's a whole lot of web. Fana nale TV enifake namhlanje kuseni ingane kade zihappy ukuthi i-TV ku-room iyafika namhlanje kuseni ni mountain namhlanje bikade ingekho jiki nama ceiling nowakhanda niyafixa this week Wi-Fi now ufakwe this month because the committee is coming. So if the committee was not coming, bungeke uzuyenze lo msebenzi. Chaza ke ama-fridge walungisa nini?
The order is already out, madam, for fridges and air cons.
Where put the fridges, these one cold rooms are mounted to the walls. So what you need to fix the generators and the dondons lesas. So what do you mean you've ordered more?
No, I'm saying, madam, I've already made a requisition for it to be fixed.
When did you make the requisition?
It's been a while because even the service providers, they came for a site inspection.
Kabil.
So that's why we're saying we are waiting for the processes to unfold because they came for inspection. Hopefully then they will receive the order soon and then they will start doing the job.
I'm closing, Chair. My worry is it's been a while. You don't fast track, you don't go. Some you do them last week in October because the bottom line is those fridges have not been working for over a year. October, March. So you've done it a while ago. To me, it says ingane ezinye meziphetwe yisisu uma wabo kumele bahambise ngemoto yakhe ebusuku ziyebhedlela konyaka kuphi sigula zidla ukudla okubolile kuwena. That's not an emergency ngoba kuyona ingane yakho ayisalanga wena.
That's not true, madam.
Ngiyayenga sha.
Okay. Before I give you Honorable, I just want to remind colleagues that at the beginning of the meeting I said this plenary is now a meeting of Parliament and benefits and cases of Parliament apply. One of them is that when somebody is asking questions or answering, we don't have a commentary. We don't do those things. So we must be disciplined. So we don't do. The second one is that we don't mislead these people because you'll be regarded as lying in Parliament. And we do have Powers, Privileges and Immunities Act, Section 14, that empowers us to charge you for perjury. We don't want to do that, so don't lie. Don't lie. There are certain things that we can verify. We have made a requisition, we can verify. There's a purchase order or not, we can verify that information. So don't lie to these members. Let's accept where there's been weaknesses and let's fix. When I opened earlier on, I said, still at the residences, we do have ceilings falling apart. And if you are saying the person is fixing there, I wonder where they've started. Because I've not seen any, maybe they've started in the rooms where we did not have access. But from what we've seen there, there's not been any work done. So let's be honest as a response so that we don't have a problem.
No, thank you very much, Chair. Thanks for the opportunity, and let me also welcome the presentation that has been done. Chair, I think maybe one must start with this emphasis that was made by the SG of the SRC in terms of the role of the college. It exists to serve the people. It does not exist for any other reason. Now, when teaching and learning process is being disrupted, it means that there is no reason for us to have a TVET college. I thought I must start with that aspect because in everything that has been presented, reality of the matter is that we can tell that the teaching and learning process has been disrupted here and there. And that's why my question will emanate from that angle. The SRC, when it was making a presentation, DDG, they've made an indication that there is no learner support material. Why is the reason? Or why do you have that situation, DG?
Thank you, Honorable Khab. I think the college will be in a better position to respond because from our side, we do the transfers to the colleges. They take care of it. We don't do a central procurement of LTSM as a department.
Thanks. Principal, why are we not having learner support or student support material? SRC has indicated that they don't receive textbooks on time. Why are we having that situation when the department has confirmed that they have transferred money to the college timelessly?
The learner support material was delivered late this year.
Why?
Though I may not be in the better position to answer because we ordered the books and then with the publishers as we agreed in our plenary meeting, and then upon delivery there were differences. Some delivered late, some delivered early. But I think at that time, it's when when some of the service providers or some of the publishers were not paid, which we corrected, and then they were delivered.
So you're saying that the late delivery is informed by failure to pay the service provider? What measures as part of consequence management have you applied to the CFO? Is there anything that you have done to the CFO?
No, thanks.
It's fine, thanks. Thanks, Principal. Thanks, let's leave it. There's nothing that you have done to the CFO. Can I go to the CFO? CFO? Thank you very much, CFO.
Yes, Honorable.
Let's deal with your allocation. For this financial year, you were given 58.3 million. To date, you have spent 45 million. What have you spent 45 million on?
Okay, even though I don't have documents in front of me, but the bulk of our subsidy, you can see most of it, it's allocated into salaries, most of it. So I think our payroll allocation, if you can look at that funding, close to about 200 million of it, it goes to salaries for the whole budgeted period. So, but besides that, then we utilize it to procure, I think, learner material, and then we pay also service providers in connection with services that they cater, security and other services. So we also pay municipal bills and rates for the college. also like also with other expenditure like communication cost and internet and things like that. So we spend it on that.